stop using React router. Next.js routing is automatic. So here is my app folder. I'll show you like basic concept. In Next.js route folder, if you see my app folder, right? So page.txt. So your folder structure defines route. Okay. If you go to browser here, okay. Say if you go to browser here, so this is my default browser coming to home page. Okay. If you go to create, if you create one folder, if you go to my user folder, inside that this is the static router, okay, with the page.tsx. So this is it will work as a user slash, okay, user kind of thing, okay. So that is static router, and I have also dynamic. If you pass some ID, okay, like user slash, let's say I'll put 101 or any number that is dynamic, so it will redirect to dynamic routing. This is round, and inside the code you need to create ID folder ID with the permission code folder, okay. So that's Next.js routing is no config, just folder. So here, page.tsx, it will work as a routing. So by default, it will go to the our layout, common navigation. This one app layout, because it's that we have page.tsx, right? So by default, it will go to layout.tsx. So let me just just redesign this layout.tsx. Let me remove everything, okay? And I'll import just simple home and user, okay? I just simply import home from next slash link, I think. Okay. Then okay, then I will be like export default function root layout. Okay, I'll just put inside the children. Then React Node. I'll explain you each line of code here. Just roughly to define, I'm just writing this one. So in return, I just want to change here. In return, here I need no, come on. Okay. So in return, what will return? It will return a HTML. Okay. And inside that will keep definitely body. Sorry, this one will be body, and inside that will keep nav. Okay. Inside that I'm just keep link. Let inside this one link will keep like this one will be our home. Okay. This one will be home. Okay. No, no, no. It will be inside link. Yeah, correct. So it will be home. Let me close this one first. This one. Okay. Here I'll put home. Okay. Fine. Then another link will do. Link to a good. Just I'll keep simple. Not record anything to keep here. Just keep some space and just home and user. Okay. The layout. Now let me go to home page. So home will be our this one app. This one will be home layout, home page. Okay. So here this is the home my screen. All this detail will come. I'm not adding anything. Let keep only just not record all these things. Let me keep only simple things here. Maybe okay, remove everything. Just deep, just return. Yeah, that's it. No need to keep anything. This is a simple home page. Okay. Now I'll add one more maybe inside app folder. I'll add one more folder. Let's say user. Okay. And as for routing, we must have a page.tsx. Okay. This file will define that define the routing. Okay. Here. So only difference. Only difference there is we are not adding any specific router DOM here, right? In React, we are adding some routing DOM and all, right? So here we are not adding any DOM element. So only thing is like the page at TSX we need to write, okay? So let me write some code here. Export default function user, okay? Let me keep its user page, just simple user page here, okay? We'll check whether it's working or any error we are getting, okay? And let me keep one more page, maybe when we'll click user and we'll pass some ID, right? Let me put some user detail, okay? So that when we'll click on user detail, it'll give the ID. I'll do that. Let me first check whether it is running or any issue we are getting here. So see here, right? If we'll see now we run the application, we'll see whole layout. We have defined home user, right? And by default, as there is no slash is here, right? By default, it is showing you home user. If we click on user page, right, it is related to user. See, we have not added any specific router DOM library here, right? That is the like one benefits of in the Next.js. So that's where it will work. Okay. So there might be some scenarios. For example, we have URL, right? URL, and we load that user, and we pass some ID, okay, and that detail, okay, ID and the detail we need to populate it. We will pass the ID. It will go. It will need to give us. Let's say I pass. Let's say 101, right? The detail I want to populate. How we can do this? And we know, like usually, if you go to user, we are seeing that element. If you go like 101 ID will pass. Well, nothing is there because we have not added any ID. Like that ID will be dynamic. Any ID we can pass, right? It should give us that corresponding detail. Let me show you how we can do that one. Okay. So this one you page.tsx. This is for base like user URL. Right? Inside that, I need to go. I need to create one folder. Let's say ID. Okay, and inside that ID, you need to that must be inside the square bracket because it's a dynamic route, right? So it must be dynamic. And inside that, I need to add one more file as a page.tsx. So it will consider as when you add the right one ID user slash ID, it will work as a one route. Okay, let me so this is a kind of dynamic. That ID is the dynamic that value will keep it. So we need to put inside the square bracket. Okay, and inside the page.tsx we need to fetch that value, right? First I need to get that value. Type props. Let me type props. It will be like what will be that value? It will be, let me param. Yeah, correct, params, and it will be equal. Okay, in params, then it will be id, and here will be, let's say, string. Okay, define this type here, one type here defined here. It's props. Okay, let me close it. Now I need to export. Will just this value will receive as a this value, and I'll just show you that id user id, what user id you just passed. Okay, now let me run it and let me check whether any, I think some error we are seeing here. Let's see what error we are seeing here. Mm, param is a params is not a props correct. Params dot id is correct. Let me see what error we are getting here. Okay, if we'll pass, is it maybe that 101 is not coming here. We'll see what is the error here. So actually, why we're getting this error? So in newer version, what they have done, they have made the like server components is can be async, okay? And so here you need to add, one async keyword. Sorry, one async, okay, one async, and the params props instead of props, you need to make it better. Net this one we need to make it like props any, okay, and to extract that value, okay, that value props value here. Okay, now let me just start params is defined here and props, and it should be await. Okay, it should be await. It should be await because in your version that change is there. Maybe some issue is there. Okay, still okay. Some issue is still there. Let me see what is the issue there. Why that is. Okay, so this one is not working because maybe params actually newer version is expecting async params behavior. Like we need to define this one as a promise. Okay, so this is some new syntax maybe added. Okay, promise. Inside that we need to keep this value id string. Okay, and inside that we need to keep all this value, and the promise will be capital P here. Okay, and then here we are extending, so as we are using async, so here we need to use constant. We need to kind the id here from props, right? So as it's async, so we need to use params. Okay, in that way we'll get this that value id value will get there. Let's see, and here instead of this one, right, instead of params, we need to as we already extracted that value from there, directly we can use that id here. Okay, now let me check whether it's working fine or not. Okay, and three. Okay, So now it's fine, working fine. Now we got the user 3. So this is our dynamic value, right? Each time we are passing the value and we are getting the response. So when you dynamic value, we need to create one folder kind of thing, ID or whatever value is there, right? We need to pass. So based on that, we need to create that folder, okay? Then it will, in the page.tsx file, we'll write about whatever logic we need to mention, and we can, and as it is made like it is new, Next.js is expecting like asynchronous, so we just need to async and await while we are fetching the value. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And I'll show you like in the next video how server-side code connecting to API and all to fetch the data. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.